Hello everyone, this is Adnan with another video on VCP 6.7 and 7 version 7 training. In this video I'm going to show you how to work with the Iscsi storage and Iscsi storage. Why do we need Iscsi storage? Because in order to take advantage of VCP, vSphere, ESXi advanced features which are vMotion and DRS, storage DRS, HAFT, you need a shared storage. Now in order to get a shared storage, we do have two options. We have few options actually. So, but the two most famous option or the two most used options are fiber optic, and the second option is Iscsi. Iscsi, we are going to. I mean, once the storage is connected, you will either it is Iscsi or it is fiber optic. In both cases you will be able to manage, you will be able to configure and manage the advanced features in VCP. So in order to, so in our lab architecture we are going to use Iscsi Target. Now Iscsi Target, in order to use Iscsi Target, what there are two options, what we two easy ways to connect to Iscsi storage. One is the Windows server. So this is a Windows server. Quick look at the architecture. This is a domain controller. This is a ESXi host, ESXi host one, on which we have VCSA appliance installed. There are a few other VMs as well, dummy VMs. Then we have ESXi 2, ESXi 3. These are just empty ESXi hosts, but we do need these hosts for to test our high availability, advanced features in vSphere. Then we have one Windows server. So in the previous lab we created this Windows server. From this Windows server we are managing this environment, connecting to VCSA and managing the environment. On the same server we can configure Iscsi Target as well. So there are two ways to configure Iscsi Target. First of all, why do we need Iscsi Target? We do need Iscsi Target so that we can have a shared disk on which we can have these VMs that are hosted on these ESXi hosts. These VMs should be stored on a shared disk. So let's say this is my disk, and this once it is once it is connected as a shared disk, and this will be connected to ESXi 1, ESXi 2, ESXi 3. These VMs will be stored on shared disk, and after that we will be configuring the advanced features as vMotion and DRS and storage DRS. Now, in order to configure Iscsi Target, we have two options. One, we can use OpenFiler. OpenFiler is the Iscsi storage. It's a software virtual storage that we can use. So we can use OpenFiler or we can use Windows Server. In both cases, this will create a shared disk that will be connected to all ESXi hosts. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to install, how to create a Iscsi target within Windows Server, and then later on I'm going to show you how to work with Windows OpenFiler server. In both cases, this will provide us a shared disk. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, I'm gonna go to my Windows server. So first of all, we are going to install Iscsi features. So I'm gonna go to add roles and features. So we are going to install Iscsi Target. Actually, I have to have add disks as well. So first of all, let me see if I have added. Okay, I'm on Windows server. I need to be on the other server, not on the, actually I was on the Active Directory server. We need to be on our normal Windows server. If you don't have a Windows server and if you have only Active Directory server, you can do that on the Active Directory server as well. But if you can create another extra server. But if you cannot make another server, you can do the same thing on Active Directory server, your domain controller. So here, what I first of all I need to make sure that there are some extra disks available within this server. So here there is no disks available. I am going to add disks to this server. So here I'm gonna add let's say 100 GB for this server. So 100 GB disk to this server, and done. I'm gonna add another disk as well, just in case if we need more disk. So this disk will be another 100 GB. So once that is done, then the second thing what I need to do is to go to server manager, and within server manager I need to go to the dashboard, add roles and features. I'm gonna add Iscsi Target. So if you have already added that, you don't have to do that again, but in my case, since I've not added this, and this is part of file and storage within Iscsi services, and right here this is Iscsi storage. So this is add feature. You just need to add this Iscsi Target server, and that's it. You can add server for NFS as well, and NFS share can be used, but for now we're just gonna add Iscsi Target server and install. So once this is installed, then we are going to use the disks that we added as Iscsi Iscsi share disk. Now in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is on ESXi host we need to install the Iscsi adapter. So here this is being installed. I'm gonna go to ESXi host. Actually, I need to go from here and go to and we need to prepare our ESXi host. And since ESXi host is being managed by VCSA, so for that I need to go to VCSA. So this is VCSA. I need to go to the other page, which is directly logging into VCSA. So here I'm gonna log into. So why am I going to ESXi host? I need on ESXi host and all these hosts Iscsi adapter, and then from there we can get the IQN number. Now IQN number is the Iscsi initiator number from where we connect to. So the page is loading. So so in the meantime, I'm gonna check back. This Iscsi Target feature is being installed on this server, on the Windows server, and I'm gonna add the Iscsi adapter on Iscsi 1. And from where we can do that? We can do that from VCSA, since this server is being managed from VCSA. So we're gonna do everything on the ESXi host from VCSA. Again, one more time, while this is I'm waiting for this, we are doing this because we need to enable all the advanced features within ESXi environment. And in order to enable all the advanced features in ESXi environment, the very first thing is that we need to have shared storage. So shared storage meaning a disk should be accessible to all these ESXi hosts, so that the VMs that we are going to create on these ESXi hosts should be sitting in that shared disk, not on the local disk. At the moment, whatever VM that we make on these ESXi hosts, they are part of the local disk of ESXi host. So in here, so we are going to add this. So actually this VCSA environment becomes very slow on a laptop. Why? Because we are in nested ESXi environment, and since I think I'm also running out of memory. I have 24 GB of memory on this ESXi on my laptop where this lab is running. That memory is exhausted because of VCSA, because VCSA requires at least 12 GB of memory, as you can see here. So 22 GB of memory is used, and there is some room at the top. So that means I'm gonna just access it. I can also access that from that other server, from my Active Directory server. I think I am connected to that server, and probably because so I am connected to VCSA right from here as well. So I'm just gonna make it I'm just gonna zoom out, actually zoom in, so that I can look at the ESXi host. So this is my ESXi host, this is my VCSA, and what are we going to do? We are going to install Iscsi adapter on ESXi host, and what I'm about to do, this we need to do on each ESXi host. So going on to the ESXi host, Okay, this is very slow, and probably probably this is slow because I have all of the machines on. What I'm gonna do is I'll try to stop ESXi2 for now. I don't need ESXi2 at the moment. We can configure ESXi2 later on once we configure the advanced features within VCP. So this is powered off. It will power off, and once it is powered off, this will definitely give more processing and memory to my ESXi host 1. Everything is freezing now. Okay, so on this ESXi host, so what I did, actually everything was slow, so I restarted my ESXi host and reconnected, so it's working fine now. So once you're connected to VCSA, what we need here is we do need what do we need? Yes, we need to install the Iscsi adapter. So on the other side, the on the other side, Iscsi Target is installed. So here what we need to do, we need to install the Iscsi adapter. So you need to be on connect, you need to click on the ESXi host from this side. So you need to be in the host and cluster, and here the ESXi host, and go to config. So host and cluster, ESXi host, and config, and within the config you need to be in the storage, and you need to come to the storage adapter. So once you are here in the storage adapter, here you just need to select. Here there is one Iscsi adapter is available, which is this one, but you can add another one, and once you add this adapter one time, you won't be able to disconnect this adapter. So Iscsi adapter is by default available in ESXi 7. So here's, and that's why you're not able to add this. So I'm just gonna cancel this. Iscsi adapter is right here, this one. So here so actually this is the one, sorry, this is the one, Iscsi adapter. And so on this is the IQN that you need for the ESXi host. So I'm gonna copy this IQN because this IQN is required when you create a disk, share disk from Iscsi Target. So here yeah, so which means, so in this version 6.7 and above, you don't need to install the Iscsi adapter. Before we do need to we used to add a Iscsi adapter. So here you just need to make sure that when you go to storage adapters, here you should see Iscsi here. Iscsi is also written here, but here it says online, but the one that is online is your Iscsi adapter, and you need to copy this IQN number. So now the next step is go back to the file and storage and go to Iscsi. So here now you're in Iscsi, and within Iscsi here you would see that these are the Iscsi disks here. Here we don't see any disks, so in this I need to create a Iscsi virtual disk. So once, as soon as you start creating a virtual disk, now virtual disk will be one of the disks that we added on this server. Remember that we added two disks. Here we are not able to see any disk. The only disk that is available is the volume, so which means that we need to make it online. We need to make those disks online, make a volume, and then we can come back here. So on this one, what I need to do is go to the disk, and within the disk I'm just gonna make it online. So bring online, and also so both of the disks I'm gonna bring them online. So we need to go to disk. So once they are online, we also need to make a volume out of this. So here you just need to next and create. So volumes are created. Now sometimes you do need a disk that is offline, but not in this case. So I'm just gonna use an online disk. And remember that we need a shared disk on ESXi host. So Now this disk is created, and I'm gonna create the second disk as well, so both of the disks will be made online, and doesn't take much time. So it is making them online. Once they are online, then we're gonna go back to Iscsi Target and we are going to create our shared disk. So this, I'm gonna go back to Iscsi Target, go here, and you won't be able to see this option if you don't enable the feature. So now I can see all of the disks. So first I'm gonna select this disk, the F disk, and from here I'm gonna select next. I'm gonna name this. This is, we are going to say that this is Iscsi disk 1. Iscsi disk 1, and next, and here the size of the disk will be the full size. We are going to use 99 GB. Here we are going to dynamically expand, leave this as is, and next. And here this is a new Iscsi target, so we don't have any Iscsi target to start with. If we would have had, then we can select this. Otherwise, this will be a new, this will be hosted on a new Iscsi target, and we are going to call this Iscsi Target 1, and next. And here are the IQN initiator, the IQN number that we need to add here. So here it says click add to specify the Iscsi initiator. So this is why I copied that Iscsi initiator right here. So I'm gonna copy this and we are gonna go with this. You can go with this other option as well if it would have been a Windows server, or if you have the ID. Here I'm just gonna go with the IQN number. So I'm just gonna copy the IQN number. Remember that IQN number that I got from the ESXi one, and so this is, and press OK. So once you do, this is the same IQN number and we can verify that, and this is the IQN number of this ESXi host that we received from right here. Going back to our wizard, so and same like this, later on we are going to add ESXi2 and ESXi3 as well. So, and that is it. So once this is all done, so it is creating that shared disk that will be shared with other ESXi hosts. So I'm gonna just wait for a few moments while this is being created. So in the meantime, I'm going to start ESXi2 as well, provided I do have disks available. So this will make it a bit slower, but we do need it now so that we can configure the Iscsi initiator. So at the moment, the disk is, my memory is 21 GB out of 23. So this is fine. This can work with this. We do have a room, a very little room at the top, but it's fine. This ESXi. So once this comes back, we can get the initiator as well. So for now, the Iscsi target is created and also the initiator is configured. I'm just gonna go out here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to, so we don't need to verify that from Windows Server. Now on Iscsi initiator, so here if I go right here, this is the F disk. The F disk is the one that we shared with ESXi host, which means the disk that we are working with is this one. So this is the disk. So here we have Iscsi virtual disk available. Okay, so now the last step what we need to do is now make that data store, make that disk as a data store on the ESXi host. So in order to do that, what we need to do, so after all those steps, if you go step by step, so on the same initiator right here, now here in the devices, you will be able to see the disk if it is properly configured in here. So the only thing that we need here is go to static discovery. You can go to dynamic discovery as well. So here we need to provide the Iscsi server dynamic discovery. So let's see if I can add a dynamic server here. So I just need to provide the IP address of my Iscsi target server, which is this server. So which is the same server there where we are. So all I need to do is get the IP address of that server. So going back here on the local server, I'm gonna find the IP address, which is 52.10.52, and going back to VCSA. So VCSA, I just need to provide this IP address. So IP address of my Iscsi Target server is this. Port remains the same, and if the initiator, if the way that the way that we configured the initiator, we allowed this initiator to be part of that ESXi, that Iscsi Target server, and if everything is fine, then it will be able to connect to this. So due to recent configuration change on this recommended, saying that rescan is recommended. So for that, it is rescanning it, and here it found so it is connected to the device. So let's see if it is connected to the server, and here we just need to refresh this. I think that's the rescan of the adapter. So let's rescan the adapter here. So it's saying that we need to rescan the adapter, and here on the rescan it will show that it is being rescanned here, and dynamic discovery. So here is the disk available. So that's the disk that we were connected to. So all we did, we went into the dynamic discovery, we added the IP address of the Iscsi target, since this is the Iscsi target server where we are connected to. So this is the Iscsi target server. The disk is now available. So now same thing we need to do for the other ESXi host as well. So once this is available, so I'm gonna go back to VCSA. So I'm going to go back to VCSA. I'm going to go back to devices. Within devices, disk is available. And the one thing that I need to do is that now I need to create a data store out of this disk. So in order to create a data store, we can go to the storage devices. So we are going to storage devices. In the meantime, let me see, the server is still starting up. So later on we can configure that. So these are the storage devices. So just like any other disk that is added to ESXi host, we need to create it as a data store. So here we can see that this is a storage disk and it's not configured. So this disk is not configured. I'm just gonna select that disk. So this disk here, the disk is right here, and what can we do with the disk? It's showing us the path of the disk. You can detach this disk, and here we can go to the storage, and within the storage we can create a new data store out of this disk. So so within this we can see that we are in the storage. So this is a storage, and it will show us all the storage that are available. So in here, these are the data stores. It's just a bit slow. So when you are in the storage devices, so you need to go back to the storage device right here. So select the server. So you're in host and cluster. So now what we need to do, we need to create a data store out of this. So in order to make a data store out of this, all you need to do, you need to be in host and cluster. You need to select the ESXi host. You need to be in the config and the storage, and all you need to do, right click on the ESXi host, and once you right click on the ESXi host, you can go to storage, and within storage you need to say you need to create a new data store. And once you create a new data store, it will give you all these different type of data store. We are going to select VMFS, and we need to name this as a shared disk. So I'm gonna call this, so this is our first shared disk. So, and it is of 99 GB, and I'm gonna select this. So this logical unit number, it will be VMFS 6 version, and it will be configured. So once this is configured here, remember that that disk is located on this Windows server, and we are going to attach that to ESXi host and finish. And in the meantime, my ESXi2 is on as well, and here I can see it is on. So we are going to do this before we can end this video. We are going to attach that storage to this as well. So in this you need to come to so we need to go back to select this, go to the storage adapter. So it's just connecting. So go back to the storage adapter on ESXi2 and ESXi3 as well. Uh, Here I don't see any online Iscsi adapter, so I'm gonna add this here. And once adding this, it will automatically select this Iscsi adapter. So it seems that on this one I have to add a Iscsi adapter. In the other server I didn't have to add the adapter. Probably maybe I've added that previously, but I don't remember. So from here, first of all, we need to get the IQN number. So I'm gonna get the without adding this IQN number to Iscsi Target, you won't be able to discover it. So here, if I go in dynamic discovery, I won't be able to discover that. So in here, if I go try to discover that now without adding this Iscsi initiator, it won't be able to do that. So here it is trying to discover, and most probably so it is okay, so it will be able to discover, but it won't be able to connect to the disk. Okay, yeah, sometimes uh, we are not always right. So it is able to discover that it is an Iscsi initiator. So what it cannot do is that it won't be able to scan the disk. So in the devices, last time when we scanned the adapter, we were able to connect to the disk, but this time we won't be able to connect to the disk. So it is trying to get the disk, but no disks are available. So in order to make those disks available, you need to be on that server. So we are on the same server. We need to go into Iscsi initiator. So Iscsi target. So we need to go to Iscsi, and within Iscsi now we need to see that where we can add. So this is my Iscsi target. Within Iscsi target, I need to probably go into the properties, and here are the initiator. Within initiator, I need to add that server's ESXi host second one. So in this, so in the same time, in the same manner, you need to do ESXi3 as well. So once this is done, now the same disk that is connected to for now ESXi1 will also be connected to ESXi2. So this initiator is connected, and all I need to do is rescan the adapter now. So I'm gonna scan the adapter, and so while scanning the adapter, let's see, it is scanning the adapter now. And since we have provided, it probably might take some time, but it shouldn't. It should be able to just discover another disk. So the disk is available. So now the disk is available here, and since the disk is available, it doesn't need to be formatted. If I go to the storage devices on this server, I should be able to find that disk as well. So the disk is available right here. So if I can go into this disk here, which is a shared disk on ESXi2, it's the same disk that is available within ESXi1. So this is how we can create a shared disk. So in this video, what we did, guys, I know the video is longer than 15 minutes, so I try to make all of the disks shorter, but here I wanted to show you that first of all we added two disks to this Windows server, and then basically we shared this disk among two servers, and now this disk is connected to both of these servers here. So if I can make a line here, the disk is available to the disk is available to this server, and the disk is also available to this server. So this disk is now connected to both of the servers. So in this video we created a disk and attached the disk to both ESXi hosts. Now this disk is shared disk. In the next video I'm going to show you how to create a VM and save them on this disk. Thank you for watching this video.